No matter where it came from, what it was about, every story we have discussed so far has centered around one topic: statecraft, a topic deeply loved by a singularly important Indian manual. I'm talking about Kautilya's Arthashastra. At the risk of sounding like Shah Rukh Khan, let me assume that you've heard the name before. This manuscript talks about the art of politics. It was written in the 2nd or 3rd AD, yet even today it holds water. But here's a fun fact. For a long time, Arthashastra had disappeared until this man, R. Shamashastri, rediscovered it in the year 1904. He was a Sanskrit scholar. After finding Arthashastra, he published the book in the year 1909, then translated it into English in 1915, and today the Arthashastra is one of the most valued texts ever written the world over. But I wonder, had Shamashastri not known Sanskrit, what would have happened? Would he have known the worth of this manuscript? I ask because today is World Sanskrit Day, a day to celebrate the Sanskrit language, fondly called Devvani, or the language of the gods. It is considered about 3,500 years old, one of the oldest languages in the world. Ancient Hindu texts like the Vedas were written in Sanskrit. Languages like Bengali, Punjabi and Gujarati trace their origins to Sanskrit. So do some words in English, like opal, from Sanskrit upala, or candy, from khandaka. Even the word Zen, which evolved from dhyan. In fact, the Chinese word for meditation, chan, also comes from dhyan. So every August 31st, the world celebrates a Sanskrit Day to raise awareness about the language. But here's the irony. There's a good chance you did not even know that this day existed. And I do not mean to be pessimistic, but let's be honest. Sanskrit is a dying language, and with each passing day, fewer people care about it. Let me show you some numbers. In 1971, about 2,000 Indians called Sanskrit their mother tongue. In 1991, this number was close to 50,000. 50,000 people in India called Sanskrit their mother tongue. By 2011, it had dropped to about 25,000. We are a country of 1.4 billion people, the birthplace of the Sanskrit language, and less than 25,000 people call this language their mother tongue. Do you know the result of these falling numbers? A child named Vishnu is nicknamed Vish. Now, Vishnu is a common name in India. It is Sanskrit for the preserver, the name of a god, Vishnu. Vish, on the other hand, means poison in Sanskrit. You see, this is what happens when a language faces a slow death. Its words are literally poisoned. Vishnu becomes Vish. But some of you may still wonder, is Sanskrit even dying? After all, Hindus usually recite most of their prayers in Sanskrit. They conduct ceremonial rituals in this language. Some children in India study Sanskrit in middle school. Kids still have Sanskritized names, keeping the whole Vishnu-Vish debacle aside. But let me ask you, how many children see merit in learning Sanskrit? Won't they rather learn French or Spanish? How many people actually understand the prayers they recite? Some experts say only about 100,000 people worldwide understand the prayers they recite. Clearly, rote learning words does not keep a language alive, but that does not necessarily kill it either. So here's the golden question. How does a language die? It happens when there are no surviving speakers. Dilution of the language hastens this pace of death. Languages like ancient Greek, Akkadian, or Aramaic are extinct. Sanskrit is quickly moving in that direction because of a number of reasons. The language was rarely transmitted in the written word, and this is a recent phenomenon for Sanskrit. Most Sanskrit knowledge was transmitted orally. It happened in the Gurukul systems. But as they collapsed, the knowledge was lost. Secondly, Sanskrit was always limited to a small circle of people, usually the Hindu priests. They did not allow it to reach the common people. And when that happens to a language, it dies a natural death. Today, it seems like Sanskrit has no value to offer, but let me bring back the example of the manuscripts. India has over 35 million of them. And they're not limited to India. Elsewhere in South Asia, there are more than 150,000. Reports say Europe has at least 60,000. And some reports say 95% of these manuscripts have never been translated. 2/3 of these are in Sanskrit. So for everyone who says that Sanskrit holds no value, let me remind you, no one knows what 2/3 of those manuscripts hold. It's a mine of knowledge, and we've barely scratched the surface. Sanskrit is one of the greatest classical languages. It showcases the genius of India. It is a window into the lives of the people who came before us. And in any culture, understanding and appreciating the past is crucial to moving forward. So yesterday, today, tomorrow, Sanskrit will be relevant. It is not dying. It is dormant. It's for us to do our bit to resuscitate it.